This is a short version of a talk given by Athol.park to a men's shed, and it's about how he beat his depression.
There was a lot of stigma around anxiety and depression. We all know that, from kids and that. Anyone that had depression was useless, was a no-hoper, were just putting it on. They were just taking advantage of the situation, didn't want to work, were lazy bums. We all know that from the past. That's the whole idea of it. And also in the past, we didn't know how to deal with it. So we used to sweep it under the carpet. Anyone that got depressed in the family, you sort of, oh yeah, that's Billy Joe, but he's got a few problems, But we never spoke about it, Or if somebody committed suicide in the family, that was just definitely not spoken about in the past. I'll never forget when I went through depression. I was living in Bundaberg, and I just was getting tireder and tired. I was forgetting what I was doing, couldn't concentrate, losing sleep, and just getting worn out, overloaded. And I was driving the car down to Brisbane to the office, and this voice said, "You got to stop." And I thought, who was that? I sort of look around the car, and there's nobody in the car, and I'm thinking, geez, I'm going nuts here, Anyway, I got down to the office and I was talking to my colleagues down there, and I was reading something on the computer. And I read this paragraph on the computer, and I looked at it and I read it, and I said, guys, I said, I've got no idea what this is on about. What's this person talking about? I just can't get the gist of it, And my colleague, my partner, said to me, he said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You wrote that." He said, "You wrote that yesterday." And I thought, Jesus Christ, I wrote that yesterday and I had no idea what it was about. And that's when I realised that I had to stop. I realised that something was wrong. And from an engineer's point of view, when you realise something's wrong, something's broken, you've got to do something about it. It was so bad, I lost my business, lost my wife, lost my kids, and I ended up on the streets. I ended up in a caravan park in Bundaberg, actually, and lived on the gutter's edge. It was really hard to explain what was going on for myself, because I really didn't understand what was happening. I just couldn't get my act together, I just couldn't think properly. I couldn't work. I didn't know what was going on. I'd break into tears, the drop of a hat. Some mornings I wouldn't even get out of bed. I'd just stay there all day. And if I did get out of bed, I'd get out and I'd think, oh, okay, I'll have breakfast. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll make some toast for breakfast. And then I think, well, okay, I've got to get the butter out of the fridge. Oh, that's right. Then I've got to get the bread out. Where's the toaster? And anyway, I'd be lucky if I'd made a piece of toast with butter and Vegemite on it or something by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because I'd sit there and I'd just stare at nothing. My brain had stopped working. Okay, so to some extent, people in the room, you can probably relate to what I'm saying. This was pretty severe, but we've all had those bits of memory losses and forgetting what we're doing, and finding it hard to concentrate and so on. Yeah, so we've all touched in there somewhere along the lines. Yeah. Anyway, I read children's books, and then I got the help of a lady in the caravan park who'd been through cancer treatments and so on, and she was pretty bad, and so she was really supportive. She was helpful. Then I met a couple in Bundaberg, and the lady, she'd been through depression herself, so she understood where I was and she accepted me for what I was and mixed up. We used to laugh about it, being so stupid that we just couldn't get our act together. We'd make silly little mistakes about things and forget what you're doing, and you couldn't get your act. And so she was great. And so the point I'm trying to make is that people were the thing that helped me through. Okay, and that's what I want to press on you guys. If you're going through anything like that, or you're starting to feel those ways about it, talk about it, get some help, and talk to other people, and let them help you as best they can, in whatever way they can. Yeah, don't try and keep it locked inside. So gradually I got better, got back into engineering again, and the last job I had, ended up being the senior project manager for Boeing aircraft in Australia, down here at Fisherman's Bend. Yep. So from being a guy that ended up in a caravan on the street with no brain to becoming the senior project manager for Boeing just demonstrates that it's possible to get better. You know, it's possible to improve. And I'm a living proof of that. And what I'm saying is, if anybody's going through depression and anxiety at the moment, so on, sure, you'll feel down about it, you'll get depressed about it, and you feel like giving up and all the rest of it, but please don't. Okay? Because there is a way, you will overcome it if you keep working at it. Yeah? Don't give up.
Athol, what are the symptoms of somebody that's suffering from mental sickness? What do you do?
Oh, the symptoms are you start to feel bad. You wake up in the morning and you feel like a pain in your chest or gut, right? And you just feel yuck. And then you start to lose interest in things. You get tired and lethargic. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do things. You don't want to do the things that you used to do before. You can't be bothered. And then you start to think negative thoughts about yourself. And then you start to think, oh, I'm no good for anybody. I'm probably better off out of here. Everybody else would be better off without me around. When you start to feel those sorts of things, get onto organisations like Beyond Blue or go and see your GP and talk to them about it. And share it with your mates and talk about it in here as well. Yeah, bring it out, don't hide it.
How do you recognise one of your friends may be under that situation, and should you approach them and try and do something about it?
That's a really good question. You'll recognise it because you notice that their moods are changing. You notice that there's just something quite not right about them. Well, they might be the sort of blokes that walk in the morning and say, hey, how's it going, guys? You know, how's it going? Da, da, da. And then they walk in the morning and they're down in the dumps, they're sort of mouth, you know, and haven't got it together, not focused on what they're doing, don't want to talk. Okay, approach them, go up to them and say, are you okay? And the response you'll get is, oh yeah, I'm all right. And then just no. To say, well, I'm sorry, but I've noticed that you're not okay. Would you like to go and talk about it? And if you're lucky, they'll say yes. They might not the first time, but if you keep it up, and give them an opportunity of just being able to talk. And when you're listening to them, don't try and give them any answers. Don't try and solve their problems for them. Just listen to what they've got to say. And just accept the fact that they're okay. That they're still good blokes, they're still alright, but just let them get it out, let them talk about it. So, thanks very much again for your opportunity of speaking with you. I hope you got something out of it, and just to share my story. Thanks again, guys, and thanks for listening to me.
If you'd like Athol to give a talk to your shed or organisation, send him an email to athol.park@gmail.com or SMS or call him on 0427 690 555. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I hope and trust that it helps at least one other guy to overcome depression. Thank you.